Quick disclaimer, this is not financial advice. Trading forex is risky. Don't be an idiot. Use risk management. Enjoy the video. Hello and welcome back. Today I'm going to be going over the analysis for a trade that I took today on EURUSD, gaining me a total of 8% on my account with literally 0 pip drawdown. It was the perfect sniper entry and I'm very, very pleased with it. This trade was formulated off of smart money concepts and order blocks, so without further ado, let's get into the analysis. So on the 1 hour chart, I noticed that up here where I was trading last week, price had distributed and we were looking potentially for a move to the downside. Still waiting for further confirmations on the higher time frames, but price is looking a little bit bearish to me at the moment. So I was looking for areas where I may be able to get in on a sell trade. Now, I identified two potential order block candles. Firstly, this one up here, at the very top that sort of pushed above and took this liquidity above here before moving down. And then also this final one here. So those are my two potential points of interest. However, I was particularly interested in this one here just because price was beginning to push up towards it during the Asian session. And if we sort of get our fib out, for example, for another confirmation, you'll be able to see that it lines up pretty perfectly with our sort of 0.5 and 0.618, or what some people might call the golden zone. I don't normally trade off that, but I do like using it as a confirmation. So anyway, after that, I went down onto the 15-minute chart to see if I could refine my area. So I looked at this area and I actually completely refined it down to this final little down candle, up candle even, this final bullish candle right before we had this very, very impulsive bearish move to the downside that pushed beneath this structure here. So this was my point of interest. I then went down onto the 5-minute chart to try and refine it even more. And if we zoom in on our area, I just did one final refining to this final up candle just here. So from that, I decided before the open of the London session to set my entry order at the open of that candle there, so 1.13955 with my stop at the top, worked out being a 3.8 pip stop, so nice and tight there, and I left my targets open to begin with. So I should probably move this over just a little bit. So brilliant. So as the London session opened, price continued to sort of slowly push its way to the upside. Brilliant. Actually, I'll just go back a little bit. So what I noticed firstly was, so we were getting sort of close to our area and the bullish pressure was starting to fall off a little bit. It wasn't pushing as high as quickly, but then we did get this bullish candle to the upside with a nice strong wick. Now, on here, as you can see on this FXCM chart, the high of this candle actually comes to 1.13953 and my entry was at 5.5. But I will attach a screenshot now from my MetaTrader 5 terminal that shows that on my broker I was actually triggered into this trade. So it was literally the perfect sniper entry, literally 0 drawdown, came up, wicked in, closed way below, and from there never went back into drawdown. So yeah, as you can see, price begins to trickle off to the downside. Now, I had my targets open for this trade. I was just going to sort of observe price action. I did have to go out for a couple of hours, so I was quite happy just to let it run. Obviously, my stop loss was at break even at this point. So as time goes on, price does sort of range and consolidate a little bit. Is slowly sort of making moves to the downside. We'll just keep playing it forward. I might pop onto the 3-minute chart actually. So yeah, as you can see, it's just consolidating, doing a weird pattern, but luckily the entire time my trade stayed in very good profit, so I wasn't too concerned about this. Now, the point where I actually decided to close off my trade, now I was thinking about keeping it on to target these Asian lows here, which would have been a really nice round 1 to 13 RR. However, I did in the end decide to close off at the open of the New York session, which was, yeah, brilliant, just about here. So I ended up closing off literally pretty much 1 o'clock on the dot for, yeah, 1 to 7.92, 1 to 8, quite very close to around that. So I got around 8% gain on my account from that. The reason I decided to close it off here was, number one, is we were sort of starting to reject off of this order block here from the Asian session, but also you often get very sharp and very quick reversals when the New York session opens. Now, there was no guarantee it was going to do that. I was just very wary of the fact that, obviously, like I mentioned earlier, I had this other POI that price could potentially return to. And also we'd made some sort of relative equal highs up here, as you can see. So I thought, I'm 8% in profit. I'm going to quit while I'm ahead and end my trade there. And I was very happy to take the 8%. Now, yeah, New York session opened. I did actually take a 1 to 3 scalp off of this order block here. So I did actually get an extra 3%. I'm not going to go through that trade though, because it was just a quick one. As you can see, price did actually continue to move further to the downside. Not even at the end of the New York session yet. This is actually where we are up to now. So as you can see, it did run sort of to 1 to 11. It could continue running for the rest of the day. I don't know, but do you know what? I traded the London session. I've been on the charts for a few hours. I was very happy to leave with my 8% and then my 3% scalp, which I haven't gone through in this video. So yeah, if you have any questions about this trade, about the confluences, or just about smart money and institutional forex trading in general, then please leave me a comment down below. And if you found this video useful, please remember to like and subscribe. Thanks a lot for watching, and I will see you very soon.